God wants to glorify you, everyone. He doesn't want your worship. He wants to give you glory. That's why you said you were made in God's image. That's for you to be glorious.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Becoming Consciousness with Sharika. My name is Sharika Swaby, also known as the Mind Reset Strategist. I am a certified life coach and I specialize in mental wellness and spiritual alignment. I'm also a mentor, a published author, and of course, the host of this show. So today we will be talking about love. What is love? And this is probably a perspective that you've never heard before. So listening, my guest today is Mr. Hugh Maxwell. Now, I call him the unorthodox thinker, but he will correct me and say that he is unorthodox in thought. All right, so Mr. Maxwell has a curious mind, right? And that gifted him with the opportunity to gain insights, providing him with answers to questions that most have yet to ask. He looks at knowledge subjectively in its essence and will never take a fact to be anything conclusive. Because facts change all the time, at least we know that, right? But at the same time, he understands that it will always evolve by learning. Therefore, there was always a desire in him to share his thoughts, but an aversion to public speaking forced him to document his voice in the form of books. Now, his aim is to ignite a new way of thinking, to give a view from an alternative angle of perception. Mr. Maxwell, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. So, today we'll be talking about love. And the first thing I want to ask you is what is love? Not romantic love, not the love between anything or anyone, but what is love in its general sense?
There is no such thing as romantic love.
Okay.
There is just love.
All right.
Romance is romance. Intimacy is intimacy. Love is love.
So, go ahead.
Love is life, basically.
Love is
Because
like
life.
life. Okay.
Love is the eternal manifestation of life.
Meaning, if you were to break that down for the common folk like myself, what would that mean?
Meaning this that we're living in is not life. This is a reality.
Okay.
Because we do not know what love is. If you knew love, you would have known life. You're in this reality learning good and evil. And we
Okay.
call it love.
Mm. So then, if we knew what love was, where would we be?
Love and love is you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be in hell?
No,
Love does not
you're
do.
you're going in and out. You're breaking up.
Love is not good and evil. Love is
Mm-hmm.
perfect.
Okay.
So you cannot be choosing between good and evil and expect to know what love is. You have to decide to be perfect. You're not choosing between good and evil. You're deciding to know the truth. The truth
Okay.
is, what is love? And if you know the truth, it will set you free.
And what is that freedom?
Life
Okay, so what you're saying,
is life.
all right, so
Reality is
mhm,
enslavement.
love is life, reality is enslavement. So for the most part, we live in, as enslaved beings. That's what you're saying. So we're enslaved to reality.
Your jobs, you're enslaved to your government, you're enslaved to reality, you're enslaved by time,
Mm,
time which is grace that the Father gives. Grace is love in reality. Grace is the closest thing to love in reality. Because people decided to be evil,
hmm.
and the love that our Father is gave us grace, which is time, for us to figure out this good and evil, or to decide to be perfect in love.
Okay, so
Jesus came and
grace
he told
is
everybody, love, love,
mhm,
love, love,
mhm.
love. That's
Okay,
all
so
there is.
grace is time, and that time we are supposed to use to figure out what love is.
Right? And
Sorry,
then
do
somebody
repeat
else
that.
comes after you. You're here to find life, but
Hmm.
everybody is busy preparing for death.
Okay.
Everybody is busy doing, preparing for death, working themselves to death. You don't work
Okay.
in life, you rest in life.
So then, how do we prepare for life instead of prepare for death? Because you have to work to get money to go to take care of your family, to pay your bills, because that's what our reality is, right? So we exist in that reality. So how do we prepare for life and still exist in this reality? Sorry?
What's the main reason people work? Is it
To
to
pay for, mm.
is it to take care of a family or prove to someone that you can do something?
I'm gonna say it's to take care of your family.
Hey, do you take care of your family privately?
Yeah.
But you have to work to show your neighbors that you're living a certain lifestyle.
Okay. Fair.
What I'm trying to
Fair
say
enough.
is, what I'm trying to say is people don't work for themselves.
Hmm.
And work is not just a job that you get a salary. Work is your interaction with everybody. If you meet 10 persons for the day, it's 10 different personalities right there that you express. And that gets tiring. So sometimes work isn't really taking care of your family. Work is your mind. Because you exist in reality, but you have to live life.
Okay. So, but then, so are you saying that it's not necessary to work then?
You have to work. I'm saying it's necessary for you to use your mind. You said how to find life. Reality isn't going to show you life. Search for life within yourself. And when you find it, you will know. So you can live your reality, but at the same time, don't neglect yourself. So you go to work, but Make time for yourself every day.
Okay, what do you classify as time for yourself?
Learn how to love yourself because you don't.
Clarify that for me, please. Sorry, I didn't hear that. Repeat.
Asking what is love. If you don't know what love is, how do you know you love yourself? Because you don't. If you loved yourself, you would have been altering yourself to please everybody until you've become so much not yourself. Because you are not you, you are who the world taught you to be. The world ripped you out of you years ago. And you say, oh, I cannot do this because when I was, this happened to me, so I'm this now. So you're not you because you want to be, you're you because of something that happened. When Jesus said you have to become like a little child, it means remember who you were before the world turned you into a monster. Stop seeking motivation, seek inspiration. Because what's happening right now in the world is everything the Bible spoke about. Life in this reality is you building your Tower of Babel. That's what people are doing, good and evil, confusion. You wanted to know good and evil. Good and evil is confusion. You cannot build a tower with confusion. So God didn't confuse anybody. People confused themselves. But people thought it would sound better to say, hey, we were going to heaven and God changed our language and knocked down our tower. No, people were making a tower. Nobody agreed because nobody remembers what love is. Perfect love. All they know is good and evil. And how is confusion going to build a tower? Bible is the book of knowledge of good. So when you worship a God who doesn't need worship, what's God doing with worship? Love. God praise you. He doesn't need your worship. He gives you praise. Everything that the Bible is telling you, ask yourself, is this love? And if the answer is no, then you know that could not be love.
But then
That
then
God. God is love. A God who is
so,
love isn't going to
mhm.
persecute anyone. People persecute themselves. God gives them grace for them to do it so they can stop and return to life.
Okay.
So no, God created this thing and sent you here for you to go and die. You came here.
Okay, so
Yes.
now so how do you, if we have been removed from ourselves by society and everything else that surrounds that, if we've been removed from ourselves, right? How do we even comprehend what love is, to even begin to ask the question to say, is this based on love? Does this seem like something that a loving God would do? Or does this seem like something that a loving parent would do or a loving friend would do? If we have been removed from love, how do we know what is love and what is not love?
What is love? All right. Look at the justice system. Is that love? Someone comes to your house, steals your mango because he's hungry, take him to court, The judge charges him some money or jail time, you will get nothing. So you waste your time just to go earn the government some money, because that's basically all you did. You did nothing for yourself. You either sent this man to jail or gave the government some because he ate a man. And then you got justice. And is that love? We don't need justice. We need harmony. Justice is two sides of trying to balance good and evil. You cannot balance them out. You harmonize them, make it perfect. So instead of
Okay.
seeking justice, harmony.
And how do we do that?
The man is eating your mango, you ask him what happened to him. Are you hungry? You don't take him to court. Yes, he's wrong for coming into your premises, but you can say, next time you call or you ask. Isn't that more harmonious? Save you the trip to the courthouse.
But what about the cases that are more
Maybe
malicious?
you can cut your yard. Maybe you don't have to pay a man to come cut your yard. You just say, come cut my yard. He gets a job, you get the worker. Harmony.
And when it's a case where the situation is more malicious, there's more a lot of harm done or something like that. What happens then?
There is love, there is no maliciousness, there is no harm. If there was love all around, do you think there would be crimes or murders or no? Love is the answer to every question. Love. And you know what love is. You're just too focused on reality and say, hey, there's bad people here, so I have to be bad too. Yeah, but even if you have live in a cutthroat world and you have to be bad, try to remember what love is. And if you have love, there is something called faith. Don't worry about the evil if you have love. Keep the faith that love will take you through. So it's not for you to go there and worry about a problem. That's not love. You're over here wondering about solutions. Why worry about something when you can try to solve it? Why look back in the past, in the darkness, being like Lot's wife, preserving yourself in the past? That's how Lot became a pillar of salt. She didn't really turn into salt. Salt is just preservative. She's looking back, preserving herself into what she's running from. Lot was looking to his future. So instead of coming home every day, looking back at your past, worrying about this, spend some time and imagine a future. Life isn't in the past. Life is in the future. So you cannot look back at life. You look back at death, called reality. You look forward to the truth because truth is your decision. It's your free will. It's not a freedom to choose. Your free will is a freedom to decide. If you have to choose, it's not free will. It's somebody giving you an option. I cannot come with two options and say, hey, your free will, choose one. That's not my decision. That's what you're deciding for me and just giving me an option. But if I decide what I want, belief becomes true. And belief is just the beginning of faith because you have to believe in an end and start from a beginning. And the end is what you're faithful to. You're not faithful to anything in the middle. If you're faithful to the end, we'll see life.
Okay. So there is only one love. There is only love. There is no romantic love, just love. Okay, then. So I heard you before. I agree with you 100%. We need love in order to solve the world's problems, right? That's what we need. That's agreed on. Now, when let's take it to a more personal level. When two people meet each other and they are attracted to each other. Hi, Kadian. They're attracted to each other, right? And they fall into what they what happens next is they fall in love, or so that's what it's popularly that's how it's popularly said. They fall in love, and and they feel this strong emotion towards each other, right? um and next thing you know, they were going on, something was happening, and then it broke apart, and somebody's left broken hearted. If there's only one love, why is it that those two people alone felt that kind of emotion, that strong emotion towards each other, and no one else felt it?
Felt for that person is who you are. So you with that person is reflecting you to yourself, or you're projecting yourself onto that person. So you want that person to be this person so you can feel how you want to feel about it. You don't need a person to do that. You don't need to go into a relationship for you to feel the love that is you. You can feel the love that is you by loving yourself. You don't need to try to control a person into loving, because you're not loving the person, you're loving yourself. If you love the person, you wouldn't care what the person is doing. You wouldn't try to say, hey, do this so I can feel this way. You would love the person for whatever he's doing if the love is unconditional. And that is something that is hard to do by the way you do your relationship. Because you date, then you go in a relationship, but dating is the relationship. Remember when the relationship just started and you were dating and you were in love? Then now you're in a relationship, you're not dating anymore? It's not a relationship, it's just two people annoying each other. You have to be dating to be in a relationship. If you can't go hang out and have fun like we used to do, it's no longer a relationship, so maybe you should leave it alone.
All right, the first thing you said, love, what you felt when you were with the person was a reflection of your own love. Okay, all right.
Back to you as your love.
Okay, then. So let me ask you this. There many times, right? Many times people get into relationships, and no, let me ask it another way. It is said that if you don't love yourself, you are incapable of loving someone else. So, say I met someone that I like or that I love, right? And that when I'm in the presence of that person, I feel great. But still, I don't love myself. So, how can it be that that
Yourself
person is
through
reflecting? Sorry?
that person. You need
Hold on, repeat that.
someone, you are loving yourself through that person. And you want that person to be perfect for you, which will never happen. So be perfect for yourself. You have control over yourself. Stop struggling with people to feel the love that is you and struggle with yourself. Be like Jacob. Fight with the angel. which is yourself, or a blessing, which is love becoming life. That's a blessing. That's the immaculate conception of Christ. Love becoming life as a blessing. That's why Jesus gave you two commandments. They're actually instructions, but people like to be given commandments because worship, sacrifice this evil God is going to punish us. Love the Lord your God with all your might, which means love yourself. Love yourself. Find your passion, and that's not work. Aren't you passionate about this, what you're doing? Would you call it work if this that what you're making money from? Nobody is saying you should not make money. We're saying do not make money make you. Don't go to school and say I'm gonna be this because I want money. Learn to be who you are, and who you are will generate the money for you. You like to make
Oh,
things, you become a carpenter. It's not work, you're doing what you love. It's your passion. So you have passion for yourself and compassion for everyone else. That is loving your neighbor like yourself. Passion for yourself, that is the love you seek. Compassion for everyone else, that is the love you give. And compassion for everyone else is you praising the Father. It's all you need. Praise by loving each other. He doesn't need your worship at church, and only a devil needs you to worship him to keep you enslaved. Because I am bigger than you.
so you're saying that what we've known, what has happened throughout the centuries, and what we've come to know in this day and age, where people bow down on their knees and worship God and sing songs of praise, you're saying that's not what God requires? Repeat that, I didn't hear you.
Why would God want worship? He doesn't have time for that.
So that he can be, so that according to the information I have, is that he wants to be worshipped so that he can be exalted.
Exalt somebody by worshiping them. That's somebody exalting themselves over you. And that's effort. God doesn't work. God rests. So the 6 days of creation, that was God. There's 7 days of manifest. God doesn't create, he manifests. Creation is work, manifestation is rest. You create reality, you manifest the truth. So God didn't create anything. Serpent created time. Serpent is time, shedding its skin year after year. But you're still the same serpent, no matter how many times you shed your skin. That's why you're not supposed to be a serpent, be a caterpillar. Go in your cocoon. You're not shedding anything. You're destroying your ego. And then you become a butterfly, which is your personality. God the Father is the character. So there's one character, many personalities. The character is love. The personality is life, everlasting. Not coming here. We've been here millions of years and no one sit and said, why are we here just dying? Is there a solution to the dying? No, we just looking back in the past, where death and everything is. No one is looking to say, hey, let's find a solution.
So, okay, so are you saying that we're not supposed to die, or are we talking about a different kind of death?
Come back. Your personality is what's forgotten, but spirit reincarnates over and over as a different personality. We're waiting for God to come. And if we die before he comes, we miss the return. So another personality to come, that's not how it is.
So how is it then, if that's not how it is?
That you were cursed, work, and pain unto the dust. The dust is time, forever, because forever is the past, everlasting is the future, eternity is always now. Now is when you're in the presence of God. Every time there is now, that's where the presence of God is. So you're always in his presence because love is life and life is love. Father is everywhere as consciousness. Because we are not conscious. Man is unconscious. Man think he's wise, he's smart. It's like a serpent. You are smart, not wise. Man is aware, not conscious. You're aware of a reality. You're not
So then,
conscious of life. You wouldn't be asking what love is because love is life. Love is the father, life is the mother. Love is described like water and ocean. Life is the atmosphere. So when Jesus walked on water, he was love and life as one. Water, atmosphere as one, which is a blessing. So you can curse yourself or you can bless yourself. Because God doesn't curse.
so basically, we simply just have choices, and we get to choose what we do and what we are and what our reality is.
Decide. You decide. And if you decide, you're going to make your decision perfect. If you have to choose, one is going to be good, one is going to be evil, and evil is always somewhere in the good when there's a choice. It's a decision. You're going to make the best decision for yourself. So just decide to love, have faith that love would set you free.
Next
But
question.
faith is
Does
the hardest thing for people to do because life
why?
reality is happening now, and my faith in God won't ensure that I take my daughter to school tomorrow or I pay my bills. I don't even know what God is. I can't have faith in him. So I have to go work and believe in myself.
So again, that's still so okay. See, so which is that why we end up doing jobs that we don't like, so that because we lack faith.
Like if you don't believe in yourself, you believe in a boss. So you sell him your time, which you could be using to be who you are.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but I'm saying the job is not the, what if you like to mix drinks, but you don't own a bar? It doesn't, it's not bad for you to go work in a bar where you mix drinks. You're doing what you love. You're there, you enjoy being there. That's not work. That's you having a reason to leave home and getting paid. Somewhere you want to go every day because you love doing it. So instead of going to somewhere that annoys you, find something you like doing and do it. No one is saying don't work. It's saying follow your passion. Passionate about yourself. Follow your heart and let your passion be your job. Because you love yourself, you love everything you do. That's what I do. I love writing, so that's what I do. I write.
And what would you say to the gurus who say to you, passion don't pay the bills?
Passion or regret.
Repeat that, please.
Rather have passion or regret. If you're
Passion
gonna
sounds more fun.
Okay, if you're gonna work on something that's gonna let you not discover who you are to find life. Remember that you're trying to find life forever more. Do you want to sell yourself to a slavery that's gonna lead you to death because of money? So you're selling your soul because your soul is your body. This is your soul, your body. When you lose it, you lose your soul. So you want to sell your soul and neglect yourself so you can survive, or do you want to find yourself so you can live? I'm surviving. Listen, the world is seeking love or happiness or joy. You're seeking pleasure because of pain. You were cursed to pain. Pleasure is like a pill that comforting yourself with pleasure. For your pain, you were cursed.
No, I know that someone who has 4 kids and light bill and water and rent and food to buy at the end of the month. How do you say something like this to that person? They're
I
gonna
say it's
go,
okay to love themselves. Really? Is it this hard for people to love themselves?
but then
No,
when you
like
say, okay, go ahead.
Mrs. Sweet, I've been saying to you from we started is for people to love them. It's your heart is for people to, oh, I can't love myself today. My bill's due tomorrow. Really? You think you're gonna love yourself and meet your father and he leaves you? What happened to the prodigal son when he returned?
He was showered and with love he was
Father gave him
celebrated.
nothing. Got what he deserved. What happened to Job? Was Job worrying about a light bill? Job endured his suffering because Job, listen, this is that story of Job when Satan went up in the middle.
Hmm.
Having thoughts in your head, and Satan that came up in the midst of the sons of God, that's doubt. And that doubt leads to worry, why Job lost everything. Because he got doubtful, he began to worry, and he began to fret, He lost everything, everyone left. Just love yourself. Love yourself. Stop worrying about if loving yourself you won't make it out alive. Are you gonna make it out alive anyway? Everybody, listen. I remember I'm planning my birthday, trying to keep a funeral. Nobody wanna come because everybody is planning for death. Nobody is trying to celebrate life. Celebrate life. Stop worrying so much. Try a week of not worrying and see if everything don't work out just the same. You go down the road and you meet the person you're supposed to meet and everything just works out. But no, you have to worry first and everything still works out because of grace. Though you're worrying, putting yourself through torture, grace still carries you through. So imagine what grace will do without you struggling with yourself, begging for a blessing because you're a curse. Stop cursing yourself with worry. Bless yourself, your passion.
So are you saying each time I worry about something, I'm cursing myself? I'm sorry, that sometimes I don't hear you. Repeat.
Or painful, but you enjoy doing it. You don't enjoy doing it, so why are you doing it? Because you are cursed to do it. When God said pain will be your conception, it's not about a baby alone, it's also about an idea. It's going to be painful for you to believe your own ideas. That's why you cannot make a decision, accept choices, because it's painful. You have to what you at least at the thing you start worrying. That's not going to work. So that's the curse. And now for the man, that was for the woman. You know, we all are male, female. So that's you worrying. The male, now you start work. That is belief. Belief is work. You believe what you don't expect. So you have to go work for it. So why believe if you're not expecting it? Because you lack faith. Belief is the beginning, faith is the end. And you can't get to the end from the beginning. There's no faith.
Hi, Joy. This, okay. So some things that you said that are worth repeating. One, the way that we worship God is wrong. Our worship should be embracing ourselves and what we are about. As for example, I am passionate about what I do. That's how I praise God when I continue to do that. That's what you're saying.
Say God cursed you and you worship it. So if you're worshiping someone that cursed you and someone who's blessing you say, praise me, do not worship me. Isn't that love? God wants to glorify you, everyone. He doesn't want your worship. He wants to give you glory. That's why he was, you said you were made in God's image. That's for you to be glorious. This is an animal image. This is not God. So you're not to go around worshiping someone that cursed and evil because you chose it. If you didn't choose it, you wouldn't be here. So don't blame Adam and Eve because the same thing they did, it's the same thing everyone is still doing. cursing themselves. They curse themselves, God didn't curse them. They curse themselves to the ground to create a reality. People like to call it a deception. Time is an illusion. So you have two people curse themselves into a reality to know knowledge of good and evil. You will not surely die because you will be alive if you worship me. That's what the serpent said. You will not surely die if you worship me. Christ came, he didn't die, and one believer left with him. Christ came, he left, and one person believed him. And the one person who believed him, the world called him Judas. Judas was the criminal next to him on the cross. Jesus had 12 disciples. All of them ran away. Peter said, "No, I don't know this man." The world loved Jesus for what he did. The world ate Judas for what. If Judas didn't do what he do, would they have crucified Christ? Judas is the ego. Christ is the personality. So Judas
You have
left
to
his,
repeat that because I am lost. Judas was on the cross.
Judas and Jesus was working together. What greater
Oh,
sacrifice for a friend, lay down his life for a friend. They say Judas hung himself on a tree. The cross is the tree. He went there and they crucified him. That's how he hung himself. Jesus hung himself because he allowed them to do it. Judas hung himself because he allowed them to do it. Because he alone knew who Jesus was. So when Jesus looked up and saw him, when he said, "Leave this man alone, he is whatever," Jesus recognized him and said, "Today you and I will be married." The Bible is not going to explain it like that because it's good and it's evil. But that's how you make the story perfect.